My plan for community engagement is pretty simple, really. I was looking through the Growth Management Act and ran across the notation about our Emergency Planning Advisory Board or Council. And I looked for it in the Island County website. I looked for it. It doesn't exist, unfortunately. And I really think that we have an opportunity to address our not only community engagement from the county, but get the communities, each and every one of the varying communities involved in Island County in their own emergency preparedness plan. All the communities on Whidbey Island, Camino Island vary in their complexity, their location, what type of emergencies would affect them more directly and more intensely than some other areas would. Whether it's a windstorm that we typically have every couple of years that knocks down trees and we lose power, or the dreaded earthquake we hear and we have different organizations planning for. What I see in a lot of this is a top-down structure, and I want to get each and every community in Island County to work on their own emergency plan that fits their community and the services that they are going to need, working with their neighbors, helping their neighbors, understanding which areas of special needs are relevant to them, working with EMS services and working with each and every fire department. The homeowners associations are the perfect volunteer group to begin this from the bottom up. And they can report to an emergency advisory board at the county that assembles a overall plan that looks at this to better coordinate emergency services depending on what happens in those communities. What happens if we lose power for a week? It happens quite often, every few years. It doesn't happen as much as it used to. But with that, we have the potential for losing water systems and available water, medical equipment, medical supplies. Where are the areas of refuge for each one of these communities? Where's the high ground, if you're living on the coast, that you can assemble at while the county is looking at the reports coming in and what services the community has already determined that they might need in that community, so that we have better and quicker responses in these cases. I think as part of that community engagement, it's neighbor helping neighbor. And I think it's very, very important that we start looking at the communities putting together their own plans to help the county assist. We have the Navy base on the north end of the island. That's a federal institution. If we have an earthquake, let's say, the Navy is going to be working on their own issues. The fire departments are going to be dealing with their emergencies. So having community plans, I think, is important. I'm not trying to worry people or get people concerned or afraid. But the last thing we really need is panic should something like an earthquake ever happen. And as long as we have a ground up coordinated emergency plan, I think we can certainly respond faster, because we have local people with local knowledge in their communities working on these things. They know what to do. They've had a minor training in this area. They know what medical supplies they might need for some of their neighbors, if their neighbors want to share that. But I think community engagement at that level is extremely important. All through my career, every construction site I was ever on, we had our own safety plans. We knew who was allergic to aspirin. We knew who was allergic to bees or what other allergies they might have, whether they carried an EpiPen on them or not. We knew where the EpiPens were so that we could respond before the EMS people had shown up. Cuts, bruises, and broken bones, unfortunately happen. But having people trained in EMS services on the job sites was important. And I think that is also part of the training. We can ask our fire departments and our EMS services to work with the larger homeowners associations and even the smaller ones, is those people that ask, we can get that training to them as a county. And as an Island County Commissioner, I think that it's really important that we start to address some of these issues now rather than react to them later.
Learn more about Steve Myres at myersforcommissioner.com or at facebook.com/myersforcommissioner.